Hey group, Arturo Spraycasso here. So, let's get to painting. In today's tutorial, we're going to do something a little different. I've gotten a lot of wonderful emails of people asking for me to show a little bit more on my techniques to make water more clearer, more see-through. And, again, I think that's perfect. I think I can definitely show you guys the techniques to get your paintings to be a little more realistic. Perhaps if you're ever thinking about competing with the known medias, this is definitely a technique for you to want to learn. So, all right, crew, let's begin. I'm going to create a basic. So don't focus too much on the basic painting that we're going to be doing. Focus on the techniques I'm going to be showing you. Let's begin. Now, I want to go back to some of the paintings that we've been doing lately, right? And so I'm showing you guys the techniques to creating terrain. So we're gonna do that again today. I'm gonna use some dark blue, maybe some of our light blue here. It's important you clean your tools. Now I usually do this off camera, but I thought it'd be important that you guys see that I too have to do this. This is something that definitely has to be taken care of. Now it's always important you have a nice little container you can spray this into. There we go. Okay. So we have our blues are ready. You know what? I'm going to use the Spraycasso purple. I really think this is going to be really nice. Well, what kind of painting are you doing, Spray? A colorful one. We're going to be doing a colorful one. Nah. All right, let's clear our canvas. Today we're using the Pro High Gloss poster board. The Spraycasso poster board. So here we go. I'm going to start with the sky. So it's important that we start with our background layers. Add some purple there. You remember what I told you on the last few tutorials, as above, so below? All right. So I'm already thinking I'm splitting this painting into two portions. Now I'm going to go with our light blue. All right. So you see what's going on here? The same colors are being reflected on both sides. I'm going to use dark blue. So this is already giving us a very nice transitional effect, right? Because it feels like we have our dark blue or light blue and then this beautiful little purple right in the middle of it. Now I'm going to also use some black. As soon as I find it, here we go. Now I'll do the black here. Now this is very similar to the dream technique. You guys remember the dream technique? The dream technique goes all the way around your painting, giving us this nice little fade into black effect look. All right, I see a hair on the poster board, of course. There we go. Okay. So now then, you guys remember how to create stars? No, I'm not talking about the ones where you splatter your hand and you're bad. No. The better way. Better way is, you see your nozzle here, you want to aim away from your canvas, good 45-degree angle, and very gently. Well, before I do that, let me spray it off here. Make sure the white starts to come out and not just the drying chemicals. All right, here we go. So very gently, and sometimes it'll come out as a spray. I'm trying to oh, come on, spray. All right, hold on. I'll get this. Usually when the can is new or has a lot of pressure, or you just haven't done it in a long time, excuses. Here we go. Look at that. All right. Nah, you guys thought I had to give away my spray painter card, huh? Never. All right. Come on, a little bit more. I want more stars. Okay. Now, guys, keep a rag around. I'm telling you, totally worth it. Now then, I want to create the effect of terrain in the background. So to illustrate the same techniques we've been practicing these last few tutorials. Look how easy it is to clean your tool. Look at that. Huh, perfect. I'm going to use a little bit of black. We're going to create our terrain. So I'm going to spray the black here on my Shift homemade paint palette. I'm just going to create a little terrain here in the background. How are you going to do that spray? Well, the same way we've done it with some of their previous ones. Look at that. We're just going to smear the paint. Yes, a beginner level technique is to scratch the paint. Yours truly also used to do this a lot, right? Until we learn better techniques, etc., etc. And then you learn, you know, there's a better way of doing it. So don't scratch. I mean, I can tell you guys, you know, scratching is really good, but it's also a very beginner technique. Use the soft tool. I'm telling you, I think you guys will be very pleasantly surprised as the effects that you'll get. When you scratch, you literally do that. You scratch the paint, right? Now, there is techniques. There is a technique. My spray on spray technique is a technique that you have to scratch. And more than scratching, is a blending technique. And we will cover that in more advanced tutorials. But until then, let's focus on this one. All right. Now, I'm going to use the funnel. Yes, sir, the funnel. Such a great tool. There we go. Now, I'm going to do a little technique here that you guys have seen me use many, many times. But I'm wondering, you know what, for the sake of just showing you guys, let's go right here. All right. Whoop. Just going to go upwards like that. And then what? Well, let me show you. I'm going to do the same effect this way. Why? Well, you're just going to have to find out, aren't you? I'm going to add a little bit more black here on the side. Handy dandy tool. Just going to go up, 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 up. Okay. Now, using our clear coat. Oh, that's okay. I know I have it here. Ah, there we go. Make sure it's clear coat. Okay, I'm just gonna add good amount of clear coat here, all the way down, using the soft edge of our tool. I'm gonna clean this up pretty good. Look at this. I'm gonna create not only the reflection. Here, let me add some up here. I only focused it on the water, but watch this. Have to add the water and the side effect. I mean the sound effects, guys. Yeah. Now, if you want to, add plenty of clear coat, and then use your hands too. This will give you an effect that'll make it a little more surreal. Look at that. Pretty neat, huh? All right, so I'm just gonna do that a few times just so that it gives us the effect like the water is really moving here and it's giving you all these wonderful shadows. Might add a little bit of clear coat up here and there, and that down. Yes, sir. Look at that. Okay, so far with me? Good. Now I'm going to use a little more black. Right here. I'm going going to use our handy dandy sea sponge. I'm telling you guys, this stuff is great. Now, I always say practice. Yeah, it's good enough. Let me get the camera here positioned right, just right. I think this is how you make a pine tree, right? Alright, obviously you guys know I'm kidding. This is a nice little palm tree right here. Now, obviously, guys, you can do this throughout your painting and just add some more coming across, you know, doing a few more effects here. Let's see if we can get some more white. Getting better. Look at that. It's all about spray control. It's coming a little too liquid for my taste. Now, it doesn't matter that you get some on top of some of your layers, because with a little bit of clear coat, you can blend all of that stuff in. Give you some really nice textures. All right, now we're gonna add some white. Now, this type of painting would be pretty awesome too, to create, you know, like a space scenery, right? So you can add your planets. Just gonna add a little bit of white here, and then blend that in. Now, with a little bit of practice, you can create some waves. Look at that. See that? Very easy stuff. This technique is great. So last tutorial, you guys learned how to create those effects in the rocks going underwater, right? And then you can see through them. Now you know some of the effects to creating these shadows. Now, think about this before you start on a painting. Separate your painting into two halves. Start adding your trees and start adding your shadows in the water. So it'll look like an M, almost like an M, right? Because you want to reflect whatever you're doing up here on the bottom as well. And then as you start doing your water technique and your highlights, everything will start to take shape. So now what I'm going to do, just I want you guys to say, Spraycasso, you just made a way too basic technique on a painting. No, you guys can't accuse me of that. So I'm going to use my handy dandy sea sponge, tap into some black, start adding some. Yeah, you guys guessed it. Man, you guys know this. I'm a sucker for grass, man. Look at this. Okay, so we went ahead and added an additional few trees, right? As you can tell, we added some highlights to the water, a little bit to our waterfall there. Don't worry, we're going to continue to tackle these techniques as we go along. Yeah, truth is my camera died. But don't worry, guys. We're nice and in charge now. So I'm using the soft tip tools to go in, and this is how we created all these nice little fine details on the water. the trick to these tools is that when you put down, you want to twist. So you tap into some paint, tap, 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 tap. You tap and then you twist as you're going through. You twist to create those fine lines. So we did something very similar to the top of our waterfall here, just to create the effect of running water, and then add a little bit of clear coat. Now when you add clear coat, remember that the layers underneath become extremely susceptible to manipulation, so you got to be careful, guys, how you do this. You can use your finger. In this case I'm just using our soft tip tool, just to give the effect of that moving, running water. May even add a little bit more white. Here on the bottom. And then I'm going to move upwards. Okay. I want to create the effect that there's a lot of movement right here. So to do that, wherever there's a lot of movement, you want to add some more white, right? It creates that effect of the ripples of the water moving downwards. Remember, as above, so below. We're going to reflect some of those colors into our plant life. So we're going to use our Spraycasso purple. It's going to tap right here. I'm going to find, you know what? I think this, tap, tap, tap. Yep, I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm just very gently tapping. Look at that. I'm going to add some over here. And you know what? I think we're missing some plant life. Know what that means, right? Yup, we're going to have to add some. Oh no. You guys know me. I love adding plant life. Love it. First thing I'm going to do is I got to see if I want to add anything else to it. See, I love these water ripples, so I don't want to really mess too much with them. But I do feel we have some space right here, some prime spot. Yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit. Usually a little bit turns into a lot of it, right? No, not in this time. This time we're just going to add a little bit. A little bit of what? Spray, just terrain. A little bit of land. Just right here on the bottom. I'm going to tap into some more black. Let's get the effect. Look at all this fine grass, little flowers that we got growing on here. Look at that. See them? Now you can add some details by adding tap, 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 tap. Look at that. Yep, of course you can always add bright colors on there, which I think this is what we're going to do. So let's find our light blue. Light blue, where are you? Well, we got our Spraycasso light blue right here. Oh, I see it. I see it. You know, that's why it's important you paint the tops. You're able to look up and say, ah, green, white, orange, purple. Instead, I'm over here guessing which one. You guys have seen me use, get out of some tight spots there by guessing. So, take the time, paint the tops. Not that I'm thinking I'm too cool to do it or anything. Maybe just too lazy to do it. Tap, 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 tap. So we have some purple flowers. We have some purple sky. Now we're just going to add a little bit of those blue ones. Look at that. I love that combination. Now we're going to add some of those light blue ones down here. But see, that's the thing. They tend to camouflage into the background. So maybe just add some here. I like to try and keep them in the darker areas. All right, what do you guys think? Not too tough, full of detail. Definitely a banger. I think you guys have no issues making this in a public setting. Do it kind of quickly. Give a lot to the viewer to observe, to take in. You know, that's what I love about this poster board, is how thick it is. And then when you're done, you want to add a little layer of clear coat to it. Don't forget to sign it. Add your date, the title of your painting, and there you guys have it. Let's add some clear coat to it. The clear coat does two things at the end. Most of all, protects the painting. It has that extra layer of gloss, so it'll make your colors brighter, stand out, and it gives it protection at the same time. All right, one more thing before we close this. Let's do a few more details. We're going to be using our sea sponge, a little bit of light blue. Well, I think this is it. And as you can see, guys, it's not going to be very intricate, just a few little taps. And this time, it's going to be, I'm using the broader end of our sea sponge. That'll give us this effect, like a fuller effect and not the big flowery one. It'll just fill in more space. It'll give you a more lush look and feel to your painting. Now, another thing that I'm going to do is we have a lot of prime spot over here. You could always add a little bit of black and add some plant life back here. Here, let me stand up and show you guys how to do that. You can just do either, like, there's a bush off on the side here that you can barely see parts of it. And or it could be another look at that. It could be another palm tree. You can always make the palms coming down. You know, just different little things there just to fill some of those empty spots. And then, check this out. Make sure that your cap is nice and clean when you do this. Practice. Oh. Nope. It's coming up a little. Yeah. Let's try it anyways. I'm going to add it right there. Bam. Nice little moon reflecting here. So now you have a light source. So if you have a light source, guys, you're going to want to add some highlights. So let's take the opportunity to add some highlights here. I'm going to use a little bit of this sea sponge. See, as you notice, you don't have to take a big piece. Guys, just a little bit. It goes a long way. All right. Tap, 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 tap. I'm going to tap most of it off here because white is very overpowering. Yep. Still, I just want it to be enough to give you the highlight, but not enough to attract your attention towards it. So we're going to add some white here. Here. Oh. Yep. Imagine the moonlight hitting these areas. So you're going to have to add some right here, right here. And an effect that I use that we can use on the water as well is with some of this white. A little bit kind of like the water tinting technique. Just going to go through and add some highlights. All right, crew, and there you have it. That is the finished piece. Okay, guys, so we went through and we added some highlights, right? You guys know how to do that. We can just tap into some orange. Added the highlights. The mixture between the black and the orange gives us that little dark brown. It's like a burnt orange. And you know, the beauty about these paints, Spraycasso paints, is that you can keep adding layers. Usually after you add a clear coat or two with the other paints, they start to shrivel. So this one, you can wait. Heck, I've waited up to a month before I add additional layers. So, you know, you can keep adding to it. As you can see, we added another layer. And that's just silhouettes of palm trees here in the background. But, all right, crew. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Until next time, crew, remember, keep those cans shaking. Later, guys. Take a quick little zoom in version of this.